I think that a good ethical hacker finds things that other people have missed. So for me, that requires a really good sense of understanding technology. It really involves an outside view, so taking another approach. And I think tenacity. Often you're going to fail on your first attempt, and it can take multiple attempts. So I think it's really the critical thinking, it's the tenacity, and it's the deep understanding of technology that makes the best security researchers, certainly in our network. Bug bounty, or vulnerability rewards programs, as some people call them, it's a really simple idea. You have a collection of digital assets. It's normally your digital perimeter. It could be your website, for example, but it could be mobile applications, AI systems. It could be blockchain, crypto, Web3 systems. And you basically say, if you can find a vulnerability in these systems, if you can prove that, then we will pay you a reward. And that reward could be anything from $50, £50, all the way up to hundreds of thousands of pounds. And of course, the setting up of the rewards and the scope and the people, that's really our expertise here at HackerOne. So I think that human minds are the greatest untapped resource of this planet. And if you're not working with ethical hackers today, if you're not working with security researchers, you're missing out. You're missing out on perhaps 30 or 40% of the vulnerabilities that are on your attack surface. So my advice to any CISOs out there would be to harness the power of security researchers in a productive way and get them working on your side, because they're certainly working against you in the adversarial market. So anyone that's interested in becoming an ethical hacker, anyone that's interested in becoming a part of our network, we publish a really, really good website called hacker101.com. You can access it through the h1.community website. On there we have free training, we have Discord channels, and we also have the Ambassador World Cup system, where every country in the world will have teams of hackers. The UK has one. We're meeting up with them tonight. Egypt and Greece and the Netherlands and Spain were the finalists this year in the World Cup. And if you can join a local meetup near you, then you can connect with experienced researchers and perhaps do some vulnerability discovery together. So the big trend at the moment, there's two trends, but they're related. It's artificial intelligence. And so from a customer's perspective, increasing numbers of customers are releasing chatbots, agentic AI systems, large language models that are powering perhaps a website, perhaps it's get a quote on insurance, or perhaps it's a help desk type function. And then on the other side of the security researcher community, we see increased adoption of AI for security research as well. So I think the large language models that have been on the market now for a couple of years, they're really going into production now. And so just for example, we've been running AI red teaming engagements with people like Snapchat and Anthropic, looking for universal jailbreaks or ways to generate offensive content, safety issues. But also on the researcher side, we had the first ever AI agent reach the top 20 in our leaderboard, which is unprecedented. It's the first time it's ever happened, and we don't expect that to stop. Hackers have been leveraging generative AI tools since the beginning. We actually had a French hacker who published this wonderful YouTube video about how he found a vulnerability in JavaScript just by feeding the JavaScript into an LLM and saying, where should I look? And so using it as kind of a co-pilot for their research, especially when you have things like code samples which are available online. I think that now that's moved on to a new level where we actually have people who are training models on web benchmarks. So let's take an example. You could take a vulnerable website where you know where the vulnerabilities are, and you train the model to look through it. And slowly, it gets better and better and better at discovering vulnerabilities autonomously. So I think that on the one hand, we have the augmentation use, and on the other hand, we have the agentic use case. And both of those are really happening at the same time. I would be surprised if I found a security researcher today that's not using generative AI as part of their workflow, as part of their vulnerability discovery tool sets. So I think that making ransomware payments illegal denies the oxygen for these ransomware groups. One of the messages that's been very loud and clear is that we live in a congested, conflicted, and contested world. And these rewards are providing a revenue model which is then being reinvested into more technology. And we have now ransomware as a service. So you have software as a service, you have ransomware as a service. And I think trying to cut off some of that funding is going to be impactful. On the other hand, it really requires a global approach. And if we're not paying the ransoms in the UK, but someone else is in, say, China or in Singapore, then is it really going to make a great deal of difference? And that's what I would question. I think that we need a whole of society approach and a whole of world approach to this problem. So I think that my big call to action is for people who are interested in learning more about vulnerability disclosure, about bug bounty. Then come over and speak to us. And any security researchers out there, if you're interested in getting started, go to the h1.community website. You'll find everything you need to know there.
Great job. Thank you so much.
Thank you.